again. How spooky! Hello and welcome to Mandobug Crafts, episode 123. What's up, everybody? My name's Amanda, but you may know me on the internet as Mandobug, and this is my crafty podcast where I inspire and educate you on your making journey by sharing mine. In today's video, I've got crochet design, and a little bit of knitting to talk about. So let's start out with something I've learned. I learned how to put a button band into a pattern. So I've worked button bands before, but I've never written the instructions for a button band, and it wasn't as easy as I thought it was gonna be because, let me show you, this is gonna blend into finished objects, which I'm gonna call this finished even though the buttons aren't on it yet. This is the ice cream party Cardi that I designed for my daughter. This cardigan uses Lion brand ice cream cotton blend yarn, and I used 4 balls of it, almost completely the 4 balls, so I'm going to have to recommend buying a 5th ball for this pattern because you may be aware that there's padding that's written into most patterns to account for slight changes in gauge. So once that padding's on there, it's going to knock you up into 5 balls for this children's size 6 sweater. But so yeah, I designed this cardigan completely from scratch. It is a modified drop shoulder construction with shoulder shaping. So modified because there is a little bit of armhole shaping here. And then I added the shoulder shaping like I said, and then it's just, you know, kind of your grandpa style cardigan where it's got this low V-neck on it. So I did share this in my last episode, and I was telling you guys how to frog the yarn that I was putting on. I went back and I used the remainder of the ice cream cotton yarn to just do a slip stitch ribbing, an applied slip stitch ribbing with the exact same yarn in the body. And it did change the length of the stripes, of course, because the rows are not even nearly as long as they are in the body, but I think it turned out okay. I think it's still really cute, and I got the cutest ice cream buttons for this that aren't here yet, which is why it's not done. I'll insert a picture of what those look like because they're so stinking cute. They're the perfect colors and they go perfectly with the name. I showed my daughter Emily and she's so excited. And this is fitting her pretty well. Once I get the buttons on, I'll share pictures of her wearing it, and then I'll need testers, right? So this pattern is really just in formula form right now, and I have to still type it all out and get it tech edited, and then I will send it out for a call for testers. So if you're interested in being on my list, my email list for testers, I have a link in this description box below, way down at the bottom, where you can sign up for my newsletter, and you want to check the box. Do you want to get everything and the testing calls, or just the testing calls? It's up to you, but you do have to check a box to get any emails. So yes, the ice cream party. Ice cream party Cardi. I keep saying it backwards every time I talk about this cardigan. So what I learned, the buttonholes. Let me show you the buttonholes. Got all sorts of sidetracked. Here are the buttonholes in the ribbing. So they start where the shaping of the V neck of the cardigan stop. And so you can't just take that distance and divide it by 6 and throw the buttonholes in there, because you don't want a hole at the very bottom of your cardigan and you don't want a hole at the top of where your button pan starts. So it isn't as straightforward as you would think it is, but it also isn't super difficult. So I decided to put 6 buttonholes in that distance, and so you do take that distance, divide it by 6, but that first distance is half of a 1/6. Does that make sense? So you have your half of a 6th buttonhole, then your 6th 5 times, and then your other half. It's just a simple little tweak, but it is something that I learned and wanted to share with you guys. The designing process, the process of learning to design garments. I'm having a ton of fun. I've got plans for more garments this year. I've got designs that will be published later, and ones that are still in the works that, like the ones that I'm super excited about. But yes, I'm getting sidetracked. Finished objects. This is one, even though it doesn't have buttons on it yet, the pattern I made using a 5mm crochet hook. It is this ice cream cotton blend it's a light worsted weight. It says worsted weight on the label, or category 4, but it's on the thinner side for worsted. But I do think I got away with either a 5 or a 4.5mm hook for this, and then the slip stitch ribbing I had to go up. You have to go up. I think I went up to a 6.5 for the ribbing. But yeah, that is that. I do have another finished object. I made another simple asymmetric mohair shawl. This is the one that I was sharing in my last episode. It is now done. So the simple asymmetric mohair shawl is a free pattern that I designed. I have a YouTube video tutorial as well as a free PDF download on my website and Ravelry. It uses a strand of fingering weight yarn with a strand of lace weight mohair yarn. So specifically, I used Happy Sheep Magic Sock Wool, which Hobbii just had a giant sale on that yarn, by the way. So I hope you were able to snag some during the sale, or it might still be on sale, but I think it may have ended by the time this video goes up. So 1 ball of that, and then 2 balls for this one. I used Hobbii Kid Silk, which is a 70% mohair, 30% silk blend, and it's just lovely. It's absolutely lovely. I love the way that it turned out. I love the way the blue toned down the stripes. The Magic Sock Wool is really bright magenta here, but the blue mohair silk blended it into almost a purple color. I just think it's gorgeous. I love this pattern, and it's so simple and easy. It is a great social pattern, or even like a TV crocheting pattern where you're trying to pay attention to something else in addition to crochet. I mean, you do have to pay a little bit of attention to those lace sections, but outside of that, trying to maneuver that here. Outside of the lace sections, it's just double crochet in a very simple asymmetric shape, so it just easily flies by. You just zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh wait, I got to some lace. You focus for a couple of rows, and then you're back to the double crochet. And using a slow gradient yarn like the Happy Sheep Magic Sock Wool, like you just want to get to the next color. These fly off my hook. I have my original one right here. Same thing. I love the bright color paired with the black mohair yarn, and it's just so fun and easy. It's just a really fun and easy pattern. A great opportunity to learn how to read charts because the simple lace rows are charted. So yeah, that is my other finished object. I'm really, really loving the Hobbii Kid Silk. The first sample I used Mayflower's Super Kid Silk, which is a mohair silk blend. And the Hobbii Kid Silk is just a little bit softer. They're the exact same price point. So, depending on the colors you need, I would recommend going with the Hobbii's Kid Silk. But if they don't have the color you need in that one, then check out the Mayflower Super Kid Silk, because it's still soft. It's just, if you had to choose between the two, or if I had to choose between the two, I'm picking this one. But I would not hesitate to grab the Mayflower Super Kid Silk as a second choice if they had a better color that fit with my other yarn I'm holding it with. So yeah, these were worked up, I want to say, on a 4.5mm crochet hook. The fingering weight held with a mohair. Moving on to works in progress, I have started a new knitting project. I am super excited about this pattern. I saw this on TikTok. You guys may have seen my video that came out last week with the yarn haul from Unraveled. So I got the yarn from Unraveled, which is a yarn store in Portland, Oregon, and I have cast on. So this is the Darkening Shawl by Pearl Householder, and I am nearing the halfway point for the body. Oh, guys, it's spooky season. How spooky. It's so spooky. You guys, this thing is so cool. I am so glad that I saw Allison knitting this on TikTok. D's Nuts About Yarn. Go give her a follow on Instagram, even if you don't do TikTok. She's on Instagram. Love her stuff, love her work. She is hilarious, and she loves spooky things just like I do, and shawls just like I do. I dropped the yarn. I was trying to find it. So, the yarn. This is Knitting for Olive Merino and Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair. Now, this mohair is just as soft as the Hobbii Kid Silk and the Mayflower Super Kid Silk, Super Kid Mohair. This is soft silk mohair from Mohair. I am fighting a head cold. I'm at the tail end of it, so I have been drinking tea. It's the only fluids that I've been able to get down because my throat is sore. It's only allowing warm liquids. I am drinking some Rooibos Madagascar Vanilla. It's a celestial tea that I just picked up today. It's really good if you're looking for, sorry, fly away mohairs. I don't want them in my tea or my mouth. It's a really good tea if you're looking for something that's non-caffeinated with a little bit of flavor. And I'm drinking it out of my limited edition mug from Creative with Clay. This is the mug that he did that is a sampler with the knit. It's kind of a collection of all of his styles throughout the years. And I just love how multi-craftual it is, because I feel like it really embodies me and how much I love to do a little bit of everything, just like he does. And by the way, he's got a new podcast up on his YouTube channel. Go check it out. Go subscribe. Him and Nancy of Schmutzarella Yarns have started a podcast. It is great. I absolutely love the first episode, and I can't wait for more to come out. Nancy shares progress of my Lift Your Spirits shawl on there, and then also Sharon shares progress of his improv quilt. They're both extremely talented, crafty people, just like you guys. So yeah, that is my rant about that. Back to the Darkening Shawl. So, Knitting for Olive Merino, Knitting for Olive Super Soft Mohair. Yes. So in my video that I did for the yarn haul, I talked about the how this merino is more like a medium grade merino, not a super fine merino. But what I realized is it might be a finer merino than I thought, but there's such a high twist on this yarn that gives it a little bit more of a texture that will make it feel not as soft as it really is, which is fine because I'm holding it with the mohair silk blend, so all you feel is the mohair silk against your skin. One thing that I didn't realize when I unboxed it and talked about it, but I've now come to realize knitting this shawl, is that this yarn smells super sheepy. Like, it reminds me of when I processed fleece. I really enjoy it a lot. I know that some people don't, but I know there's some of you out there like me that do, and I'm just like, it smells so good. Anyway, this shawl is so much fun to knit. It's knit on US 12 millimeter needles, not US 17 12 millimeter needles. Look at how big these are. I had to buy these because I didn't have needles this large, so I got Knitter's Pride Dreams tips, and I am so glad that I did. I typically prefer nickel plated tips, but I don't think I could knit this pattern on nickel plated. This wood tip, it's like a coated wood tip. It's nice and light, and it's been very helpful because this is lace. It is straight up lace, and there are even cables in a row. Like, not crazy cables. I can do them without a cable needle, but still, you're working with such fine thread on such large needles that it could be really easy to accidentally drop stitches when you're not meaning to if you weren't working on something like a wood type of material. So, super happy about that. You need stitch markers to keep track of your repeats, which I didn't have stitch markers this big, so that is actually hairbands. Those are some of my daughter's hairbands that I am borrowing to use as stitch markers. But yeah, I'm really loving the way this is working up. The only thing is that my cast on, it said to cast on loosely, and I really should have gone up a needle size for that, and I didn't. Instead, I was like, oh, cast on loosely? Okay, I'll use the German twisted cast on, which is usually stretchy enough for me, like for a brim of a hat or the top of socks, that I'm like, yeah, this is fine. It does seem to pull just a little bit on my cast on, and I can kind of stretch it a little bit, and maybe blocking will make it less noticeable, but I kind of wish I would have gone up a needle size or two when I did the German twisted cast on, but that's okay. It's, you guys, this is is it not spooky season? How can you see this and not want one? That's why when I saw Allison's on TikTok, she's doing hers in all white, mine's in pearl gray. I was just like, I need one of those, especially because I'm going as a ghost for Halloween. So yeah, this is just something I've been trying to do a repeat a day. There are 10 lace repeats, or you repeat the lace pattern 10 times, and I am just about through my 5th repeat. So I try to do a repeat a day, and it's really hard to put down. I'm loving it. I really am. So yeah, highly recommend that pattern, especially if you like knitting spooky things. Also, she has a crop top that's super cute that uses the same style. So, oh, the other thing that I didn't mention about that pattern as well is her original, I think she used DK weight. So you keep the same size needles, but you can fluctuate weights, and that will give you a different density of fabric. So I went with the Mohair with the light fingering weight so that it gives it a very open, wispy feel. But if you wanted something that had a little bit more substance to it, a little bit more weight, you could follow the same pattern using like a DK yarn, and you'll just get something that isn't as open and wispy, and it's a little bit heavier. So she's got pictures of all different types in there as well. So that is the Darkening Shawl. As far as other works in progress, I have this guy. It's almost done. This is a magazine design that's set to come out next year, so I just have to finish up the last few rows of that, write it, and mail it out. And I'm kicking butt because I am way ahead of the deadline, so yay! I also started another witch's hat. So you may have seen my witch's hat. This is the Fleur de Noir witch's hat by Kat Mayhew, and I told you guys that my daughter Emily was begging me for one, so we've started a miniature one for her. Now they look very similar, right? I am using different yarn though. So on my original, I used a strand of lace weight sparkle that I got from Mary Gavin Yarns. It's Mary Gavin Yarns Outrageous in the charcoal colorway. I held a strand of Navia sock yarn that was a very dark charcoal gray colorway, as well as Willow Yarns burrow worsted in a black colorway. So that is what made this hat up. This hat, I am just using 2 strands of Hirschner's Worsted 8 Halloween Shimmer. So her hat is way cheaper than mine, and it looks almost identical, and it has more sparkle to it. I actually bought 2 of these back when they were on sale this last summer. And so she has double the sparkle in her hat, so it does sparkle more. And the sparkle isn't a very scratchy one on this one, so it's really been enjoyable to work with. So I'm just going to continue down until I get to a point that fits her head and stop, and then start the brim. And the reason I started this is kind of selfish. I want to make myself another hat. And I couldn't just make myself another one without having made hers yet. So that's my reward, is once I finish her hat, I get to reward myself with another hat, which I'm going to make an all white to go with my ghost Halloween costume. So I'm going to be like a witchy ghost. I'm so excited. I have this Hirschner's Worsted 8 Halloween Shimmer in white. So for my hat, I'm going to hold the white shimmer with just a strand of white acrylic. I have unlabeled acrylic stash that people have gifted to me. So I'm not sure exactly which one it is, but it's some worsted weight 100% white acrylic. So yes, mine, Emily's, and then I get a white one. And so I have been just like working on that one a little bit and taking a break because it is a dense, tight gauge. It is a little harder on the hands. So other than that, the only other thing that I've been working on is my Lift Your Spirits small size sample. So the mystery crochet along is going so well. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support. Lift Your Spirits with crochet. I'm living for my own merch, you guys. I literally live in this merch. It makes me so happy. Unfortunately, though, the organic tote bag is sold out on Teespring, and so I did pop another style of tote bags of theirs in there, but I really like the organic one. So I haven't gotten very far on my small size sample since I last showed it to you guys. My beads did show up. I had 3 different beads that I was looking at using, and I ended up going with black. I wanted some contrast so that it stood out. And out of the 3 colors that I chose, the black was the one that stood out the most. So that is what I went with. And yeah, I'm really happy with the way that it's working up, and I can't wait to get to the ghosty face. If you guys have not seen spoilers photos of this yet, there are spoiler photos on Instagram, on my TikTok, and on Ravelry project pages. So if you're not crocheting along and you want to see what it looks like, I haven't showed it on YouTube here yet. If you want to see it, you can find it. Be warned, it may make you want to join in, which if you do, there's still plenty of time. The small size is only 2 clues, the first clue and the last one, and the last clue does not come out until October 8th. So there's plenty of time to jump in, finish the first clue by the time the last clue comes out to make yourself a small size. This shawl, the small size calls for 2 hanks of fingering weight yarn, but there are people substituting a DK weight to make a larger small shawl, which is something you could totally do instead. So I'll have all the information linked down below for that, but I have been having so much fun with this crochet along, and it's been so much fun seeing all of your progress in the Facebook group and doing our live streams on Saturdays, even though I didn't get to do last Saturday's live stream because my power was out. We'll talk about that later. Moving on to check it out. You guys, I got to be a guest on Yarn Geek Live. That was so much fun. I'm sure you guys know who Ginger the Yarn Geek is, and you're probably already subscribed to her channel. If you came over from her channel after seeing my interview, welcome. Thank you for stopping by and checking out my channel and seeing what I'm all about. I know I got to give a really good snapshot version of myself and everything I do and like to do. So I really appreciated Ginger having me on her channel. I had a great time. And if you guys haven't seen it, I will have that video linked down below so you can go check that out, watch her and I hang out, and just we were super chatty. Just chatty chat, all things crochet, Halloween, being moms, all sorts of fun stuff. So I had a lot of fun doing that. Go check it out. Moving on to Let's Chat. Yeah, so my power went out last Saturday when I was supposed to be interviewing Jean of Bead Biz for the Mystery Crochet Along live stream. I was so freaking bummed. So I had everything planned, everything ready to go. She had responded about the interview questions I proposed, and she was like, yeah, I have this demo that I can do that takes 20 to 30 minutes. And I was like, yes, because she knows a lot more about working with beads than I do. What a great opportunity to be able to share on my channel for this crochet along. And then I went to bed that night, woke up in the middle of the night to the power going out. And, you know, it was really windy, but it was a quick windstorm. And so I thought, you know, maybe they'll get on it tonight and maybe the power will be back on. It wasn't. By 7, 8 a.m., I had called her and let her know that we were probably going to have to cancel. And, of course, by 9 a.m. Pacific time, which is when I live stream on Saturdays, it still was not back on yet. It didn't come on until, I want to say, like 11:30 in the afternoon that day. And so I'm bummed. It sucked. It is what it is. I try to remind myself that, you know, everything happens for a reason, for whatever reason. that live stream was not supposed to happen on that day. So I'm hoping I can do something with her in the future. We did talk about some potential collaborations in the future. So maybe later this year we could put something together. But yeah, that was a straight up bummer. I really enjoy going live and chatting with you guys on Saturday mornings, and so it sucks when it doesn't happen. Other than that, I've got a magazine design my very first magazine design is coming out. It should be in stands tomorrow. If you're a member of the Crochet Guild of America, you get Annie's Crochet! Crochet magazine. So you have already gotten your issue. It should hit stands. Like I said, tomorrow is when you should be able to get it in stores if you're not already subscribed to the magazine. And my very first pattern's in there. I cannot wait to share this with you guys. I have videos that will be coming out on my channel later this month about how to do the woven surface crochet that I use in the pattern, as well as kind of my journey of getting my first magazine published design out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy those videos when they come out. It should be some this week and some next week. They'll be split up, depending on how quickly I can edit. But yeah, other than that, that's everything I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please hit the like button. Let other people know it's worth watching. Leave a comment down below telling me something you liked or didn't like, or future suggestions. Any sort of engagement helps people know this is a channel you might enjoy. So yeah, other than that, guys, I will catch you next time. Happy crafting. Bye.